Jake El Gallinado!
What caught many people off guard was how many well-known voices openly leaned toward Jake Paul before he ever shared the ring with Anthony Joshua. On the surface, those predictions were easy to dismiss as pure attention-grabbing. A heavyweight icon siding with a social media star, a legendary promoter hinting at an upset, a respected MMA analyst pointing to the possibility of a single fight-changing punch. But when you strip away the headlines and actually listen to their reasoning, a clear pattern emerges. Each argument rested on familiar boxing truths: belief in knockout power, acknowledgement of steady growth from an unconventional fighter, and the reality that in the heavyweight division, one clean shot can instantly flip expectations and reputations. Tyson Fury's take was by far the most explosive. He didn't qualify it or play coy. Fury went all in, publicly stating he'd put serious money on Paul and confidently claiming the upset was inevitable. That statement hit hard because Fury isn't just another loud opinion. He's a former world champion whose words carry weight. BY suggesting Joshua was on a decline, while Paul was gaining momentum. Fury wasn't just making a prediction. He was challenging Joshua's direction and, at the same time, lending unexpected credibility to Paul's chances. For fans who understand heavyweight boxing, that endorsement alone was enough to reopen the conversation. Because in this division, belief, momentum, and confidence can matter just as much as numbers on a stat sheet.
Talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. I like his new heavyweight look.
Oscar de la Hoya approached the conversation from a very different angle. Part promoter, part lifelong fighter, he drew on decades of ring intuition when he shared his view publicly. De la Hoya didn't hedge. He said outright that he saw a Jake Paul knockout as a real possibility. Coming from him, that wasn't just provocation. It reflected the promoters recognizing that Paul's journey hasn't been built solely on hype. Beneath the controversy is a record of visible improvement, real rounds, and tangible results. When someone who has evaluated fighters for generations talks about an underdog winning by stoppage, he's usually pointing to specifics. In this case, it was power that shows up on film, timing that is tightened over time, and a level of self-belief that turns a single opening into a fight-ending moment. De La Hoya's take sounded less like wishful thinking and more like the conclusion of someone who had watched enough footage to believe the unlikely could actually happen. That same shift in thinking appeared outside traditional boxing circles as well. Demetrius Johnson, the former UFC champion known for elite timing and fight intelligence, framed the matchup in purely technical terms. He suggested Paul could land an awkward, compact punch, the kind that has troubled Joshua before. Johnson wasn't cheering from the sidelines or pushing a storyline. He referenced patterns. Joshua's history of getting caught by short shots and Paul's unconventional delivery created an overlap that made the upset feel technically plausible. That kind of assessment carries weight because it comes from someone trained to spot vulnerabilities, not manufacture drama.
With AJ, the way he handled Francis Ngannou, who I think was also a bit of a sideshow fight, but was much more dangerous than Jake Paul. And you saw the way AJ took that very seriously and got rid of his opponent very, very quickly and in a destructive fashion. I see something similar here in this situation. But, you know, these are discussion points, talking points.
Even the smaller endorsements mattered. Andy Ruiz Jr., the man who shocked Anthony Joshua in 2019, encouraged Jake Paul and told him not to be afraid. That carried weight because Ruiz has actually beaten Joshua and understands where his weaknesses lie. What connects all these opinions isn't blind hype, but repeated themes. Paul has improved. Heavyweight fights are unpredictable. Joshua has been hurt by short, awkward punches before, and momentum or narrative can influence how a fight unfolds. From Fury's confidence, to De La Hoya's intuition, to Demetrius Johnson's technical read, to Ruiz's lived experience, each voice added a different layer. Together, they didn't guarantee an upset, but they showed Jake Paul's chances were based on plausible paths. not just bravado.
What is your prediction, Jake?
Probably the 6th or 7th round knockout.
And that's it.
I'm fucking him up, Burial! I'm fucking him up!
None of this changed the fact that most bettors and boxing purists still favored Anthony Joshua. But the contrarian voices turned the fight into more than a routine mismatch. By insisting the upset was possible, credible figures shifted the mood, influenced perception, and added real tension to the event. They forced fans to look beyond records and statistics and consider momentum, belief, and the chaos that one punch can create. And that's what made the fight worth watching.